Hi, I'm Frank Perri of Synergy Systems. In this video we're going to be going over our flagship product, our family of power loggers. This is called the PM3000. It's a very small, light unit and it comes in its own carrying case. Now this is an engineered bag, and by engineered bag, let me show you what we mean by that. When you get the unit and you take it out to an investigation site, when you arrive at the investigation site, you'll take the bag, set the length of these straps so that they're good for your height, and hold the bag in front of you like this. You will open up the lid of the bag, open up this protective lip you have here on the bag, and you pull out your voltage connection tools here. They have little clips on the end of them that you will clip in front of you here. This eliminates you having to put your equipment bag down into any dirty or oily or snowy, muddy areas and so on. And then you have your A-phase red, black and blue, and a white for the neutral line here. And we have two neutral jumpers, and we'll show you that hook up in just a few minutes. Right now I just want to go over with you what is in the bag compartments here. Of course, you have the data logger itself right here. This is a three-phase data logging unit with a touch screen, large touch screen display. You also have a wall charger if you need to use it. The unit does run off of A-phase. However, if you wanted to use the unit at your desk for some reason and keep the battery charged up, you could use this wall plug charger to do it. We also have three 24-inch flexible current clamps that come with each unit. Each phase clamp has its own compartment section in here. There's three compartments for the three 24-inch Rogowski style coil current clamps. In the very back here is a software package. CD-ROM software comes with every unit. You have a download cable and some wire wrap here. If you want to put the voltage leads all together in one wire wrap, we allow you to do that. You take out the red lead, which is your A-phase lead. Now right here is how you'll do the hookup. The red lead goes into the red jack, of course. Black goes into the black B-phase. C-phase blue will go into the blue. So there's your A, B, and C-phase hookups. Now, if you're in a service where there is a neutral wire, instead of giving you 6 white leads, which tends to then become a little cumbersome, although we do have it that way if you choose to have it that way, we give you these neutral jumpers here that you can just jumper over, just like you're seeing me do here, and connect the neutrals together, and then take the neutral clip and plug it in here. So with 4 wires you can effect a 3-phase 4-wire hookup. It's very convenient and very easy to use. Your current clamps would plug into these BNC adapters right here. We have the red for A-phase, black for B-phase, and blue for C-phase. And then once you're all hooked up, you can then open up the unit, go to the display, and we will zoom in on the display in a moment. In the cover of the unit here, you can see what I just did on the outside of the unit is very graphically and simply illustrated here, and shows you how to hook up to a 3-phase 4-wire Y or to a 3-phase delta. Now this is the touchscreen display that we have on the unit here, and you double tap it just like you double click a mouse to turn it on. And then you can do all your programming, all the ratios, or you can do it from the computer. For the purposes of this training video, at this point, we're going to switch from the actual unit now. We're going to hook this unit to the computer and then show you on the larger computer screen how to set up and program the unit. This program that you're looking at now is called PM Screen. It is the configuration and programming software that is used for our entire family of PM products. The PM6000, the 6000W with the waveform capture, the PM3000, which we are hooked up to now, which is a 3-phase monitor, and the PM2000, which is our meter socket logger. What is on this computer screen you see here right now is exactly what is on the screen of the instrument. We'll click on the continue button. This is the opening screen when you first turn the instrument on. We will click on the continue button, and this shows us our 3-phase phasor diagram here. There's a demo program in the unit now that's generating the data that you're looking at, and this demo program does move the A current phase all the way around the circle in a continuous manner. That's why you'll see this at various points during this demonstration. It is a demo program. The flashing C on the battery icon here indicates that we are charging through A phase on the battery, and this is the memory icon here. It's a little microchip icon here, and as the memory fills up, there would be a vertical bar that would begin to grow inside this unit as the memory is used up. We will click our next button here and come to our main menu. Please remember that at any point in time, if you touch and hold any of the buttons, a context-sensitive help screen comes up to tell you what you're about to do before you do it. So you don't really need to have a manual with our units, you just need to touch and hold any one of the buttons on here. Let's start out by explaining this is the start recording button down here in the lower left. That you press that and it would start a recording. This is the power off button on the lower right to stop the recording. So those two buttons are self-explanatory. So the 4 buttons we need to go over in detail are starting with the hookup button here. If we touch and tap the hookup button, it shows us a 3-phase 4-wire hookup configuration. There are several different configurations in here. This is a 3-phase 3-wire delta, 3-wire Y, 3-phase 2.5 element, single element balanced, and 2-phase 2-element. This would be your hookup with a line 1 to neutral, line 2 to neutral, line 1 to line 2, and an uncommitted hookup where you can do whatever you want. Let's go back up to the 3-phase 4-wire Y hookup here, and we'll explain what these lines that you see mean. We have your A, B, and C phase here. We are using V1 with the plus lead, which is the red lead that we showed you earlier, would hook to A phase. The white lead would hook up to the neutral. On V2, the black lead would hook up to B phase, the white lead would hook to the neutral, and on V3, the blue lead would hook up to C phase, and the white lead would hook to neutral. The little loops you see here are symbols to designate the Rogalski type flexible coils around A, B, and C phase here. After you select your hookup, you can click the left button, go back, and now you would hook up the unit to the service. The next thing you want to do is go into display mode. This is how you get started with this, and click on your phasor diagram here. Remember, you can touch and hold it if you want. It'll tell you it displays the primary measurement channel, volt and current in phasor diagram or list form here. We're going to click on the phasor, and you see your A, B, and C phase voltage vectors, and your A, which remember the demo program is constantly moving for the purposes of this demonstration, your B and your C phase just slightly lagging your voltage phasor vectors. Once you're confident that you have the unit hooked up right, where B phase current slightly lagging B phase voltage, C slightly lagging C, and A slightly lagging A, and you're satisfied, you can then go back. Remember, this hookup is important because volts are always volts, amps are always amps, and harmonics are always harmonics, but watts, bars, power factor, in order for them to be correct, you have to have the phase rotation correct. But now at this point we will go back by pressing the left upper corner. Go back one step. Now we'll list all channels. And this is the same procedure you should follow when you're hooking up a unit to make sure that everything looks reasonable. Now here we have channels 1, 2, and 3. They're reading 236 or 35 volts. If you feel that is correct, you could start recording. We're going to come down here and I want to look at my channels 4, 5, and 6, which are my 3 current channels. They all look to be relatively balanced here. So everything looks like it is hooked up and reading correctly like it should be. And then you can feel confident then at that point, hitting the upper left-hand corner key here and hitting it again, because remember that will take you back to the main menu and you can start the recording at this point. The Explore and the Configure buttons, the Explore button, which I just checked, there is nothing saved here now, but if we did have a recording, you would be able to click on that recording and you would see when the recording started, when it stopped, and the max, min, and average value of every channel that was recorded. This is a 16-channel unit. 3 voltages and 3 currents are real inputs, and the other 10 channels are watts, bars, power factor, frequency, harmonics on voltage, harmonics on current, or anything you would like to program them to be. We hit the upper left-hand corner key here to go back. And now we're going to show you what is available in configurations. There is another video that goes into the configurations extensively. After you're through with this video, if you have a moment, you might want to check out the advanced configuration video in the training menu on our website. But this configure button here, if you click here and you look and you can see what the current configuration is in the unit, happens to be 3-phase, 4-wire Y, or if you click on here and we go through several configurations that are available in the unit that are basically the same as you saw in the hookup diagrams, 3-phase, 4-wire, and so on. And remember, you can store in these units up to 127 different setups. Some of the power companies we do business with have stored as many as 60 setups in here so that their metering people or power quality people, when they go out to do an investigation, there is no programming that's required at all. They simply choose which one they want, they click on it, and then they load it in and do any editing or renaming. If you want to name something, you can just click on it and save as. And we give you an entire keyboard here that you can use to name it, to put a customer's address in there, or a work order number, or any designation that will allow you to remember where that recording was done. And we date and time stamp everything to real time. So basically, that is, once we've got, now remember, we've got everything hooked up right, we've looked at the display, we know that the readings appear to be what we expect them to be. And we just, at this point, would click on Start a Recording. And when we start the recording, it says, what do you want to call this session? At this point here, you could actually put in a customer's name. If it happened to be the Domino's Pizza place that was having a problem, you could put in Domino's Pizza here if you wanted to, or whatever you like. And then you could either delay starting to another time in the future, or you could just start now. We're going to say we want to change this session number, not to session 9, but we might want to change it to session A, let's say, and say OK, and start now. We click on the start button, and we are recording. So notice now the start recording button has changed to stop recording. The power off button is in shadow, so nobody can accidentally turn the unit off. And look up here, and you see a flashing R on that microchip, which tells you that the unit is in fact recording at this time. And at this point, you can close the unit down, snap the catches shut, and there's 2 holes on either side of the unit that allows you to put a meter seal or a lock in to keep people from going into your unit and punching around on there and possibly accidentally stopping a recording. So we recommend that you do either lock the unit and put a meter seal or perhaps a cable tie in there to keep the unit closed. And you're off and running. And that's how you get started on your recording with a PM3000. If you do want to know how to download the unit, if you look at the advanced configuration and download video on this same website, there's an extensive explanation there of how to download and what to do with the data once you get it. and manipulation of the data, as well as more extensive configuration information. For our products, thank you.